Why cow? And there is a Mahavakya called Mataras Gavaha. Whatever we do, it is all for our Sukha and Ananda. And that's where again that begins your Ida. So unless and we have her on this Mother Earth, the Astitva is there. You cannot imagine any other thing at all. She is everything. From where everything, the whole universe gets built up. That's where it gets that energy. That's where it gets its own entity. Today, big talk of organics. Today, there is a big talk of green energy. Today, there is a big talk of bio protection, fossil fuels, zero carbon, all these things. For everything, the beginning is here. And understand it. And that's where she suffers. We all suffer. So this one mother of all activity needs an urgent every day, the ashram receives the rescued animals, cattle from everywhere. It is just not cow. Cow is the, there calves, bulls, buffaloes, so many of them, even camels at times. And many of them at a verge of extinction. And everything is happening against the nature, the bio, whatever, the big words being used all over today. So that's where the awareness has to come. And different departments today, the Department of Police asks for the safe shelter. They ask for the help. Department of Revenue asks for the help. Municipal Corporation asks for the help. Then you have Department of Animal Husbandry, different NGOs, people who would like to come along. So that's how this has been a basic, probably, it would not be just called Atish Yogi. This is the only institution, probably because of this inspiration all over the South India. The linguistic states which we have built, the Marathi, Odia, 2 Telugu states, 1 country. There is a little that, this has just, we have touched the tip of the iceberg. Trying to propagate the very important subject, because absolutely, the way Shankaracharya puts it, that is how you have to begin, and the science which says, there is one literature by name, which was written by others, and which goes, like, question and answers being done in a very simplistic way. And that's where a primary question arises. Why she is called Mother, Dharitri, and all those things that are there, and so many. So that is how you see there over there. And the answer says, why? Means she is there, no. She is everything. From where everything, the whole universe gets built up. That's where it gets that energy. That's where it gets its own entity. The Astitva we call. So that's how the culture has been taught. And nothing to do with one species that's being protected and another, competing with other. No. That's why I said in the beginning, it's a carpet nomenclature. She engulfs the whole universe as such. And that's where you see so many of them, cow's milk, and even in folklore, people talk about the Ayurveda based on cow medicines. Then you have puja, you have today, big talk of organics. Today, there is a big talk of green energy. Today, there is a big talk of bio protection, fossil fuels, zero carbon, all these things. For everything, the beginning is here. And understand it. Today, it is alarming that we are absolutely maddening. We are trying to exterminate from the mother. That is how it is. And it is probably, calling for a doomsday. We are going to kill ourselves. That's how it says. The science behind it. That is very important. We're not trying to, force our thoughts and our beliefs and all that, because let us people realize the importance in a way they can understand. So that's the probably crux of the matter, and that's where it becomes more challenging. Why cow? And there is a Mahavakya called Mataras Gavaha. Whatever we do, it is all for our Sukha and Ananda. And that's where again that begins your Ida. So unless and we have her on this Mother Earth, the Astitva is there. You cannot imagine any other thing at all. So for the last for 5 decades, my Guruji, and after that, there has been specific effort to make all these people understand. To give you a classic example about, say, suppose protection of these things can't just be on beliefs, right? And the earlier thing which I told you, everything is going against the law of the land. Every day they are being transported, slaughtered against the law of the land. It is a phenomenon of the subcontinent. And that's where we try to make understand the home department, the police, the concerned department, that's such. And it just cannot be on our words. When the things are existing on paper, they're existing. The laws are there. The problem has been the society probably is unaware of it. And there was never even an effort to make them understand as such. It all began last 35 years back when they probably, my experiences once, I met the DG at that time, the United Andhra Pradesh, Raji, and it was brought to his notice that time that such a thing is happening. You probably thought, no, there is a huge business going on, and probably some anti-social elements are against it. But all these facts were brought to his notice. Then the first time in the Andhra Pradesh, that was the book was printed called Andhra Pradesh Prevention and Preservation of the Species and Cow Slaughtering Act and all that. And after that, the things began. Even with the magisterial code, that's why we need to, because this is not the subject that they come across. So you have to make them all understand. Even today, still from all over the society which you see, still it remains to be alien. And we have to put efforts in that direction. One of the finest of it in the last 2 decades, we've been requesting with the training academies like police academy or the police training academies, wherein before the officers get passing out, we take 2-3 classes with the senior advocates regarding the law of the land, so that the people who come out are aware of the subject. And the similar thing with the whole of the society as such. We have school children, from there we have to build up. Even today, you would be very happy that schools want few cattle out there in their campus, so that while growing, the children would understand about the sciences, the aspects of it. That's how it is. And with corporates, with housewives, commoners, bureaucrats, everybody for that matter, time and again, we've been trying to get them over here. If possible, put a word to them, go down to them, talk to them, all our volunteers and all that. That's how this has, a few states probably. And from there, it is replicated elsewhere also. And there is a realization with the central government and state government. And probably just a beginning. So that's where, even with the policy matters, things are not taken very seriously as such. And that's where she suffers. We all suffer. And in bits and pieces, we realize, there are few species which we call ghee or ongol and all that. That's how we come to know about the cows and all that. And somebody talks about some milk and A2 milk and all that, right? So that is not, sufficient as such, because today we must have all seen a dwarf species with our Prime Minister, somebody has donated. So it's fine. I mean, it's our own breed in Telugu pride, probably with Chittoor district. We have, slaughtered them like anything last 30 years, 35 years back. And today we are crying again. That is how about the existence of have to be protected through the institutions like this. This cannot be only one today. The irony is the safe sheltering which we could talk about. There is development and all that going on, some product going on. These are secondary aspects of such. If at all she remains, the life of the cattle were protected first, and today you'd be surprised when we in the introduction said about 8,000, 10,000, whatever. It remains a figure. Probably 10 times of them have been slaughtered today in the morning. We all are there, and we don't realize what is happening against the nature, and is ultimately probably we are going to kill ourselves. That's why we have to be very serious about this subject. And then goes attached all the other aspects of it, one after the other. Today's being the protection of them and the way the society gets benefited. Sheltering more than, this is how it is on your screens. This is how it looks. And there is always a space crunch because every day we don't know. Average of 30 to 40 cattle have been receiving every day. I mean, that is the input. At once, it may be 100, 120 of them, in a container, and probably more than 20 in a small van as such. And when they arrive, we have to go through the whole procedural matter as such. It's all there on the screens you must have going through. And this has nothing to do with one place as such. These are the vehicles which arrive every day over here, which we have been. But this is a common phenomenon throughout the subcontinent. It is alarming. And probably there is a fact about the research, the species which remain the indigenous breed we call, probably around 37 to 42 of them, and with different names as such. Saival, Gir, Pogunoro, Halikar, Devri, and all that. So they are all, with the different places, different climatic conditions. And there are the dwarf ones on the mountain ranges. They're the huge ones in the plain lands. So all these are there. I mean, it is Srishti. That's how it is. And which we all began with the, why she is mother. And that's how we will take that, those facts. And today, importance of cow for life and sustainability. India has over 190 million cattle today. To tell you another fact, the time of independence, we must have been around 25 to 30 crores. And today the population is around more than 100 plus 140 crores. The cattle population has got reversed. That's where it is again alarming. India is the largest milk producer. Fine, all these are very figures as such. In Emirates and all that, very recently for the last, I think 3-4 years or 5 years, people all around, Emirates or different other countries, they are asking for cow dung manure. And it is surprising. I mean, people do know. I mean, this is a science which every farmer knows about it. In a backyard of it, he puts all the, biodegradable material, properly chopped vegetables, cow dung and all that waste is out down there. And every 3 months, he takes out a material which looks like a coffee powder. That is a rich organic, manure. And it is in the backyards. And today, the things have got reversed, and we need to speak to the farmers getting down to the high-tech cities like Hyderabad and put a seminar on, which was a basic knowledge as such, which has been there all along. And that is how the organic agriculture, there is nothing new about it. The traditional way of doing it and respecting those things are. And today, the similar thing, dehydrated cow dung has been, people are trying to export it to the Emirates when probably they get returns. But the finest aspect of it is the way they have realized their date, their horticulture, their floriculture, their flora and fauna. Because of this Mahaprasadam, I mean, they get a new life out there. The product which you're going to get is a highly potential one. So this is one of its kind, one of an example. And we ourselves today, if you take classic examples of, agriculture in our states or Andhra Pradesh, today, palm farms, whoever has a half a dozen of them absolutely can tell you they is rich and the production is absolutely marvelous. And even with the aqua farming as such, they tell us that when we use cow dung for the farming and all that, aqua farming, they have good results. I mean, it is, though it is socio-economics, but you have to realize. And when we said in Telugu, there is this phrase called Gangi Govu Palu, Gatted another. You don't need to have it, indigenous breed, maybe a little less with that milk, but the quality of that has to be the medicinal value of it. It's very, very rich. That's why traditionally it has been said that you can have a spoon of it as it is amrita. You don't take, medicines, in liters and kilos, and it's going to help you out. We need not to worry about that. But at least we have to have it with us. It cannot be. It is alarming because probably next down the line in 5 years, you might only see them in photographs. That is the present situation. And today, another thing, though people have realized it, people have only a realization, the commoner, the kind of benefit they are going to reap it from the cattle or our indigenous breed cows. But the problem has been, why can't we realize left, right, and center, she's been exterminated. Unless and if you stop that, we stop that, and you're not going to get them tomorrow. That is one of the things we have to talk to ourselves, talk to all the other organizations as such, and the big organizations like the traditional organization, they have been also thinking on those lines. We are any school of thought, that for that matter, Shankaracharya Peetham, Upashakas, Ramanuja Peetham, Srinivas Bhagwan Peetham, Upashakas, Bhagwan Madhvacharya Peetham, ISKCON is one of the great. So there cannot be a Mangalarti without butter. But the way the mother is suffering, people may not be knowing about it. So that's how I realized, and I go to them with folded hands and tell them, please, that's where she's suffering a lot. She's into all sorts of problems. So that's where about our present situation in the, and from schools to colleges to the universities, we need to give up these discourses, tell them it is something to do with their own good, our own good, society's welfare. And one after the other, you see, organic, when you talk about, it is fruit, it is agriculture, it is something to do with your own health. There is so much being talked about, there is so much of budget being spent on it. And on it, only just on this traditional way of looking at it, you don't meet big resources as such. There have to be only a realization in this matter, which can really change things, automatically, and that will be very miraculous. So those are some simple aspects which Ashrama is trying to. Here, when people visit, there are agriculture people, farmers every day. Even they're asking for, cattle around. So what we do is, from our organization, time and again, the one which are protected, which are in young ones, which can be used for the agriculture purpose, the desired farmer is checked up. All these credentials have been presented with the, a couple of bulls over there, or a couple of cows, or a buffalo, or a he-buffalo as such, for their farming purpose. So it's so very good socioeconomically. That would, a bull couple would mean probably next 10 to 15 years he has the economic support for a simple family. And today, this has not been seen in that way. In cattle family, the way things exist, whenever you have a male calf, they think that this isn't going to be economic, and they kill them. The way we have realized in our society, when the girl child is born, you might have gone through that. We all have been seeing, and there's so much of awareness has been created regarding female feticide. There is a reverse thing in the cattle culture. A person, what he does is probably he doesn't realize the importance of it. And today, even probably sometimes, even the policy matters of the ministries and the concerned departments, which you have heard about the artificial insemination, wherein they need to carry a can of liquid nitrogen, wherein you have a sperm sticks over there. And the way they've been maintained, and every farmer is, that. And you don't have any offsprings at all. And experimentally, for the last 33 decades, more than 3 decades, I'll tell you, we have been forcing them to have male ones. It is nothing to, it's just cow. It is a, Radha Krishna, right? Sitarama, Gauri Shankara. That is how they are one. And that realization had to be brought into the society. Even with the e-buffaloes and buffaloes, I'll tell you. It is nothing to do, when she is mother. A girl had asked me in a school of second standard, Maharaji, we need to protect cow and can kill all the other species. That's how she. And it was so difficult to be big people who might have a Vedokti and all that, some phrases and all that, we can try to convince them. How about the girl? A child has to. And I was carrying a Kamadhedu photo, which was all that. The eyes are Surya Chandra, the whole body with, Yaksha and Kinnara Kimpur with all the Devadagana and all that. And her legs were with the Himalayas and Sumeru. So I showed her, I said, she is mother. And when you protect her, all the other things have to get along. And that's how the realization had to come into the society as such. It is nothing to do with cow. It is nothing to do with any religion at all. There is another misconception with it. And they play along. You have gone through all that. Agriculture, everybody needs it, even Americans and Emirates and Australians and Africans, everybody on this Mother Earth. So the coexistence, the way in Telugu we say Padi and Panta, right? So that's how you have to realize the importance of it. Today, there cannot be a product which we are going to produce through our birds in factories, and the powder cannot be, life-giving Amrita to the Mother Earth. Unless and until these survive, these very living things have to touch the earth. They have to breathe. This is the X factor. And the padartha, all the material which is going to be had from our garbha is the only living thing which is going to give the strength to this Mother Earth, and which is going to give us this living, the breath which we call Mahaprana, right? The oxygen which we got all. The other day, only 4 years back or 3.5 years back, the whole world has realized it. And the way we have been hit by Corona, everybody realized, everybody was running for their life. God can give us a little life. 4 breaths, 5 breaths, like that. We were counting. And everybody was carrying the cylinders with them, oximeters all around. And when a cinema trailer was like this, can you realize how a cinema would be? Today, it is very, very alarming for everybody. The whole, every other, subject can take a little time. This cannot, because we are playing with our own life. The Narayana Maharaj used to say in Telugu, don't play with her breath. Evaru kuda avida prananto chalagataladakanడి. Anni upirlu agipotayi. Can we realize it? How serious is it? It is more dangerous than a nuclear bomb. Today, when we talk about organics, we are talking about energy. We are also talking about even a cow dung being used in nuclear. She can also contain and all that. That lot of research is going on with the cow dung. There may be a paint factory. There may be a methane with it. There may be a green energy with it. There's so many people asking so many other aspects of it. Medicinal value is the abundant medicinal value. There is hardly much of an, university research as such. It is at that stagnant, this thing. Individuals have been banging their heads. We got to realize the importance of it today. So that's where the very subject becomes very important. It is nothing to do with one, such institution or a couple of them as such. It is something, it is binding on all of us, and make them all realize people do not have a time and they've been running around. Today, the subject is so very important. And today, to tell you very specifically, we do with corporate, world, certain enlightenment programs. The day-long program we have at our ashram. We call them up, we welcome them, we have an intro. We have intro with them. Go along the whole seva program which has been going along, and give them all the detailing about it, starting from introduction to what we've been doing. And then you have prasadam, lunch and all that. We have an interactive session. It is absolutely beautiful experience, two-way experience. It is never ever one time people coming around and going away. No, they realize it and they take out a time. Individuals call me up again from different places and other bit. They want to know more about it. People have started along elsewhere also. They want some assistance from us. So that is another thing. So today it may be AT&T, JP Morgan, Deloitte, State Bank of India, bar associations. You have the secretariat, NGOs. You have the IAS officers of all departments. We have universities, deans, professors, commoners, housewives. Time and again, interact with them, tell them any leisure day, festival day, Sundays, and they have their own questions, queries, and whatever we know, we try to give those things to them. And I'll give you another classic example. I've been calling our neighborhood. We have a Telangana veterinary youth. It's a university in Rajendra Nagar. And till a couple of months back, it was Ravindra Reddy ji who was the vice chancellor to it. For the last 30 years, we've been having a beautiful relation with them and trying to have academically things have to be done. And when you have professors, learned ones, the impact will be phenomenal. So that's how we've been having them over here. So I've been trying to have, Ravindra Reddy ji and go through this academics. And somehow the other way after this corona and all that, it got delayed. And very recently, before retirement, he goes, yeah. And normally, what we, the kind of running we have, the kind of responsibility we take up, hardly you have time. So he said, I have only half an hour time. I said, okay. And when he came along, and a brief intro was done, and suddenly there was this rescued vehicle container. And it was very surprising. It was saddening also. I mean, things happening like this in front of his eyes. And he went through the whole program and he forgot that he had come for an half an hour. He had other meetings. And by the time he ended up, it was afternoon lunch. And he told me, I was late. I said, you are late. You tell me. No, Maharaj, you please help us out. I said, please tell me what can be done. The government of India has a program and the state government have to execute it. We have a program for women, girls and ladies to under self-reliance kind of a thing. They have to be trained in a basic veterinary program. And we have been giving them the training at our university theoretically. And he wanted us to give, he told me that they do not have a workshop like this. The kind of suffering they come in over here. The kind of, the aged ones, which have been hurt very badly, bleeding, the ones they are carrying. So gynae and other aspects. They said, okay, you're always welcome. And what had happened was, there was a 6-month program almost. Each month, 15 days a batch with 32 girls. They went through this beautiful experience. They've been trained. Practical training was done in this Kaushala. I'm proud about it. We were able to serve in a certain way. But it's nothing to do with this institution. These has to be replicated all along. Things are very, very bad. We have to do something. It is alarming. And these kind of experiences, every day when we interact with schools and all that, we try to call them. When the children are over here, even, sometimes a very kindergarten children are playing around. So give them some opportunity there. They go around, they feed the calves, they play with them and all that. That's a beautiful experience. And one of the magical aspects, I tell you, whenever talking about when we have such a huge number, you would say, how is it possible to run it in a countryside program right in the heart of the high-tech city? I mean, that's where they do not survive in their natural habitat. And this has to be done. And that's how we have to do it. And today you would be surprised. This particular place in, more than 8,000 to 9,000 of them, more than 120 to 140 tons of feed and fodder had to be procured every day. Can you imagine? On everyday basis. It is like a tapas. It's like a Kumbh Mela every day. And absolutely, we have not made any policy matter as such. You would be surprised today, the Animal Welfare Board of India budget is of 5 crores for a whole of subcontinent for the welfare of the animals. And the establishment charges of the salaries and all that goes around 3.5 crores to 4 crores. And the whole of this year, 1 crore has to be spent on the welfare. I mean, that is how the policy is about. How can you depend on this? We have to make them realize the importance of it. That is another. We are not given emphasis on this one thing. That's where she is suffering. The mother is suffering. Very recently, I had gone to the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, and that's where I have been asking all of them to join hands. So today, you must have heard a lot of implements and scientific implements have been used by the farmers. And after the agriculture produce, the byproduct is also being, taken into account, and they are being stored and all that. That is being used for the energy, that is being used for the feed and fodder, that is also used as a manure. So many things can be, it is all recycled. So, and I think we have been asking the overseas friends also, all the other people around, brothers and sisters all over. Very recently, the institution has been also inspected. All that went through a rigorous, scrutiny. FCRA has also been given to us very recently. I mean, probably why I'm telling you all this is nothing to do with resources as such. When a government of India has gone through the rigorous, probably it speaks abundantly about the activity as such. Today, I heard that, many of them have been put to scrutiny and been stopped. And in that kind of situation, an institution, and this kind of an institution gets a push probably we are on a right track. So that's how the whole Lotta program every day. And Vishwa, as I see, I was given an intro with it is touching every day, everybody's life. How from an the one who is the poor, who is needy, who is hungry, with different institutions, we've been trying to touch their lives and give them a support. So this one mother of all activity needs an urgent, probably an immediate effort from everybody.